Good evening, everybody. We're getting ready to call our Bay St. Louis City Council meeting together, October 16th, 2018. Let's pray tonight. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, Father, we just come before you, and we thank you for this day, and we thank you for our city. And Father, you're the one that exists, and you're the one that have always existed. And we lean upon your wisdom. We lean upon your guardians for our city. But Father, if we lean upon your wisdom and your guardians, we know that our city will turn out all right, and our citizenry will be protected. So Father, tonight give us the wisdom to make decisions on behalf of our city and our citizens. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, good evening. We welcome you again to our Bay St. Louis City Council meeting, October 16th, 2018. And the first item on the agenda is Ms. Libby Garcia. She's not going to be here tonight, and neither could she send a representative, so we will allow her to call in at another time to reschedule that particular meeting. The second item on the agenda is the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence, a proclamation, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Mr. Mayor.
That can affect anyone, women and men, all ages, orientation, ethnic and religious backgrounds, educational levels, and whereas the crime of domestic violence violates the dignity, security, privacy, and safety of members of our community in the form of physical, emotional, sexual, and financial abuse, and whereas the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence provided emergency shelter and support for 2,498 victims of violence and received more than 15,234 calls to its crisis hotline in 2017, reflecting the severity of this problem within the coastal counties of Mississippi. And whereas an effective bystander intervention can help reduce the incidence of domestic violence by providing victims with opportunities to seek assistance and support, safety, and leave abusive situations. Whereas advocates, professionals, volunteers, and community members concerned with domestic violence will devote the month of October to raising public awareness of the crisis of domestic violence, its causes, effects, and prevention. Whereas the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence has chosen October 2018 to launch its One Thing campaign, challenging the individuals, organizations, and civic groups of the coast to find one thing they will commit to personally help in interpersonal violence. And whereas I, Mike Fall, Mayor of Bay St. Louis, along with the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2018 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor.
Can we get one together?
Oh, yes.
All right.
You want to do it up here? Or? Yeah.
You want us to just gather here?
Yeah, sure, come on.
Well, she can stand right here.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, you can.
Awesome, thank you. So on behalf of the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence, we would like to thank you.
State your name.
Oh, sorry. My name's Katie Fulmer, and I'm an intern with the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence. And we would like to thank you guys for declaring the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and for your continued support in our clients, empowering our clients and supporting our center, and helping us join forces in taking a stand against domestic violence. With this proclamation, you guys are doing that one thing that we've launched in our campaign this year, by setting the standard for your citizens and residents, and also as an entire city. So thank you.
All right. Hold on, Miss Katie Fuller, right?
Fulmer.
Fulmer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a couple questions for you.
Yes, sir.
This nonviolence, is it mainly for women? Mostly women?
Our center?
Yes.
Right now, yes, sir, we service women and children.
Okay. What about men?
For men, we do offer, we refer out to different centers, but as far as in our current shelter, we don't have a way to separate them. So we service them, since the majority of the population are women and children, we mainly house those, and that's what our grants are funded for.
And I have a question about this here, especially being in the line of work that I am.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen men
Mm-hmm.
violated and
Sure.
violence committed on them. Many times men don't like to report it because of the machoism in them.
Yes, sir.
What is the process that men need to go through to get referred to you all so you can refer them out?
Yes, sir. So right now, our in-shelter residents, I should clarify, our in-shelter resident services are for women and children only. However, we do service in counseling and outreach clients. We do service men as well. So when a client is seeking services, they themselves need to call our crisis line first and foremost. Sometimes we do have family members that will call on behalf of a person, and we always tell them what services are available, but we ask for them, we can't take referrals from a family member because it's not that first person encounter. So we ask that they let their family members know, male or female, to call back the crisis line. It's a 24-hour crisis line, and we will get them in touch with a counselor. When our counselor takes their, or excuse me, our RA, our resource administration, takes their information, a counselor within the next 24 to 48 hours will return that phone call and set up some sort of intake, whether it's at our counseling center part or they will go and do an outreach visit.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of things, you know, we sworn to secrecy, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to, you know, domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do take extra steps, you know, to handle this here. What happens when there is, and maybe the chief can get in on this here, when there's physical marks on a person?
When they're coming into our,
if say I'm counseling,
yes, sir.
okay, and I'm sitting across the desk and there's physical marks on this person.
Okay. So it depends on who the person is. I'm not licensed. I'm in my graduate program. So as far as I am aware, when there's a child, then we have a mandated reporting situation.
There's a what now?
As a child, if there's a minor. That's a mandated reporting situation. With an adult, they're there of their own volition. So we can, the way that I am being taught is that this is kind of their goals. We have to go in line with what their goals are. We can't force them. We can't put our own, well, we think you should do this type thing. So even if we notice marks, we may inquire about them in a generality type thing, but we're not going to sit there and poke and probe about that unless they're wanting to open up about that themselves.
Okay.
And, or, excuse me, as well as elder abuse. Elder abuse and child abuse are mandated reporting situations.
It used to be, a long time ago, when I was a policeman back
Mm-hmm.
then, that they would have to follow up and report. But I think the state laws have changed now, where if you see someone that's been abused, you can simply report it and they're protected under the Good Samaritan Act. Am I not correct?
We get referrals from from DHS.
State your name, Chief.
Oh, Gary Ponche, Chief of Police Base St. Louis. We do get referrals from various agencies that are forwarded to us that we can follow up on. So we get, there's numerous reporting methods that come into the police department that we follow up on, and we work in conjunction with DHS and Child Protective Services and stuff like that. So, but we do get reports anonymously and from family members and friends and stuff, but we follow up on.
So if it's not an organization, if it's just an individual that's reporting this, maybe to you all, what are the steps that you all take?
Well, it depends on the nature of the report. If somebody comes into us and makes a general report, we'll look at it. If it's something that we see physical evidence, we see a bruise, a scratch, our officers are obligated to make an arrest on scene if they can determine who the aggressor is on scene. If they're still on we are obligated to make an arrest on a domestic violence situation. If it's something that's happened and it's not fresh, we do follow up and investigate. But, as far as police officers, we try and do a real good investigation, interviewing people and taking pictures and documenting the evidence, stuff like that. So,
Okay.
but all those, especially with children and stuff, we will forward all that to Child Protective Services too, so they can also follow up.
Okay. All right.
When will you be receiving your license?
I graduate in a year.
Very good. Stick with it. Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jeff, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, next thing on the agenda is Ms. Nikki Moon. Proclamation declaring the third week in October as Chamber of Commerce Week in Mississippi.
Whereas at more than 80 local chambers of commerce, Mississippi distinguishes itself as the voice of businesses in our state. Whereas the Hancock Chamber of Commerce has been part of the network of business advocates for 93 years, and whereas the work accomplished by the Chamber has benefited our county, cities, and state through the economic development, tourism promotion, and community development programs, whereas the Hancock Chamber of Commerce unceasingly promotes our cities and our counties for quality growth and development, whereas the business community, represented through the Chamber, has been driving force in fostering enhanced educational opportunities, infrastructure improvements, leadership development, the creation of jobs, and a positive vision of the future, whereas the Hancock Chamber of Commerce has sought to achieve successful results for our county and coast region in a cooperative spirit with other organizations, the Chamber of Commerce and their 1,200 member representatives and 10,000 employees provides citizens with a strong business environment that increases employment, retail trade, and commerce and industrial growth to make Hancock County a better place to live. Therefore, as Mayor Mike Fogg, City Council of Bay St. Louis, joined with other cities, the Board of Supervisors, Phil Bryant, Governor of the great state of Mississippi, to hereby proclaim the third week in October as Chamber of Commerce Week in Mississippi and Hancock County, and the third Wednesday in October as National Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day in Mississippi, Bay St. Louis, and Hancock County. It's my pleasure to present to you proclamation for Hancock County Chamber of Commerce.
Your eyes open, Gene. I got that one.
All right, y'all ready? All right, let's do it.
Hey, the flash didn't go off.
If I may, Nikki Moon, Baytonian, Bay St. Louis. Regan and I are here on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Chamber. As you may know, Tish is in Diamond Head with the proclamation there. This is a national initiative promoting chambers, recognizing the members of the chambers throughout the country. And I wanted to take just a second to tell you a couple things that we've been doing, and Regan will elaborate a little bit more. Many months ago, the Old Town merchants came to the chamber and said, we need your help with signage in this community. So the Chamber received a $25,000 grant from the Gulf Coast National Heritage Area with matching support from the supervisors. And with that, we now have up 7 of our 16 visitor wayfinding signs in Bay St. Louis alone. I think you've seen them. They really, really look good. We have more coming up, and the grant also helped us update 3 websites. The project was estimated at just over $70,000 with a value of over $10,000 to the city, and it cost you nothing, which is a great bonus. It shows, I think, how businesses, communities, the county, and the cities can all work together with the state. And Regan Kane as well has some comments.
Regan Kane, John McDonald Realty, thank you for your time. One of the volunteer-led projects of the Chamber is Leadership Hancock. Introduced in 1996, 450 citizens have graduated from the program. Many of you among us are graduates of this program. This program helps current and emerging leaders develop skills and improve quality of life in the county. This year, graduates of the class of 2018 are launching a work-ready mentor program to help high school students gain the skills they need to enter the workforce. Each year, members of the leadership class conduct surveys with small businesses as part of the Business Retention and Expansion Program, a partnership between the Chamber and the Port and Harbor Commission. In the past 2 years, 60 small businesses and 60 primary companies have been interviewed that represent about 5,000 employees. The Chamber's relentless support of job growth through this program and others is growing the customer base. Jobs mean customers to members of the Hancock County Chamber of Commerce, who are the drivers of all tax dollars to our community. These are just a few of the ways Chamber members are making a difference in our community. We appreciate this recognition and y'all's time and continued support in our ongoing relationship with the city. And we'd like to invite each and every one of you to our Chamber After Hours this Thursday at the Silver Slipper from 5 to 7. So please try to make that event. And thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Reagan.
Thank you.
All right, we have our consent agenda. Thank you. We have our consent agenda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items under that certification letter dated October 16, 2018. And that letter simply states, I certify that funds are available and make the recommendation to approve and pay the following claims docket. Claims docket 10/16/2018, 18-035- for $475,615.66. Okay.
Yes, it's changed. It's 56.
56 cents.
Yeah, certification letter and docket are correct now.
Okay. 56.
Yeah, it's
All right.
new. It's been updated in the system.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. Signed Sissy Gonzalez. All right. The next thing under the consent agenda is the cash balances for October 12, 2018. Before the docket is going to be $2 million. Our cash balance is going to be $2,726,124.42. After the docket is going to be $2,250,508.86. Then we have payroll that's dated October 12, 2018. Now, you're going to have to help me with this payroll because mine is cut off. The total, is that $220,512? Okay, the 9 cents is cut off. Okay. No, I got the 9 cent now. Okay. Then we have, then we're going to spread the revenue and expense report that's dated 9/30/2018 on the minutes. Also, we're going to spread the executed agreement between owner and the engineer for professional service, which was approved September 18, 2018. And do you all want to discuss
Questions
some
on
of
that?
those things on the,
Yes.
want to take that out of the
Take
consent?
F out, please.
Okay, we're going to take F out. The consent agenda is going to consist of A, B, C, D, and E. I need a motion to approve this.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Seal,
Second?
second by Councilman Hoffman. Is there any discussion? All in favor, vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0. There's some discussion on the municipal compliance question there. I know I had a couple on the
Page 144, minutes, number 8. It's my
Yeah.
first one.
yeah.
That was one of my questions I had notes.
Page 144, number 8, are minutes of board meetings signed by the mayor and majority of the board within 30 days of the meeting.
Right. Question number 8.
I think Lisa said that is a yes now. And how we validate that. She said she'd looked at it and
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So how do we validate that? Can we get that changed or? Okay, that's fine. If that's fine, if that's okay.
Yeah, I would just notate it because we need to spread this. We could wait and spread it,
That's
I
fine.
would like to ask for a meeting for the end of October. We can wait and spread it then, but if you just mark through it, I'm sure it's
Yeah,
valid.
It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Page 147, number 11. Just explanations. Have financial records been maintained in accordance with the chart of accounts prescribed by state auditor?
Right. The chart of accounts after Hurricane Katrina were developed by, I believe by David. They do not comply completely with the state chart of accounts. They are very similar in nature. However, they are not the exact chart of accounts that the state's prescribed. So we've been using this chart of accounts since '06, and
And it's okay.
it's okay.
Okay,
The
all right.
auditors know that we have slight variances in ours, so it's very similar. They just look in different places for different numbers.
It's fine. And number 17, fixed assets. I know we've worked on it. I think we had a couple people in and out on that. Mr. Mayor, do we have a dedicated person to that now?
And they'll make sure everything is tagged and not just printed. They'll make sure, everything they receive and all, and everything they have received is documented.
Okay.
Okay, what about, Public Works, all our equipment? Is that,
All that and all included. They've gotten behind a little bit there with Tony being out and some things. He was beginning to work on it there. So as soon as he comes back or
so we
get
don't, so we
somebody to
just need to
replace
leave that as a no then, but we
Yes,
are
as a-
working on it.
we are working on it.
Okay,
Yep. Everything they have is not labeled.
okay.
Page 150, number 15. Has the municipality conducted an annual inventory of its assets according to guidelines established by the auditor's office?
Incorrect, that's another no, because we just have an annual inventory of our tagged and non-tagged assets, and we just did not have staff to do that last year. Caitlin got through half of the project, that was in the prior year, but we have never had a full-time inventory person who could do that this whole year.
All right, so, Mr. Mayor, in February, we can ask about this again, and we should have a yes answer 6 months in?
We should.
I mean, that way, we need to ask
We
about it, right?
should.
Because we wait till next August. 'Cause
Nope.
I'll put
should
off
have
stuff to
it.
the last minute myself, but,
Yeah. That's enough time. They should be able to
yeah.
do
So,
it.
maybe, I know it's probably been for 19 years, this has been no, but I think you're working on it, so
Yeah.
I think it's important. So, all right, that was just my questions, Mr. Reed.
All right, that was mine also.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
That was all the ones I had highlighted, so.
All right, make a motion to spread the municipal compliance questionnaire on the minutes.
All right, there's a,
For what years it's, Sissy? 2017, 2018?
Correct.
all right, there's a motion by Councilman Seal to spread the municipal compliance questionnaire, for 2016, 2017 on the minutes. Second by Councilman Zimmerman. Is there any questions, any discussion? If not, let's vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0. All right, the city clerk comptroller's report. Buddy,
One of payroll individuals.
All right, payroll dated, October 12th, 2018, in the amount of $2,005. How much cent is cut off?
75.
75.
75 cent.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Seal,
Second.
second by Councilman Smith. There's no discussion, vote to motion. Motion carries 6-0. Councilman Zimmerman has stepped out the room. All right, the docket of claims. All right, let's begin on page 1. Page 2.
Page 2, can we, check with Coastal Electric and see why it's $1,800 a month for the police station light bill with nothing going on in it, really?
The lights are on constantly.
Oh, are they? Can we?
At nighttime, all the lights are on in there. I drove by yesterday.
That's
just,
utilities. That's our basic utility. That's water.
Where,
Which one, Josh?
Oh, okay, all right.
Page 2,
Yeah,
Page
okay.
which is water.
Yeah,
$1,800
just
water bill.
For the police department?
Yeah.
oh, well, they must have the leak.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
I think it was kinda high
That's not
last
You
time
ain't
I
got no
was looking
super
at it.
slides over there, do
Right
you?
here.
Is that just a typo or
Let's see.
graphical error? Gene says it's full of water, that's why we have a mold problem.
You gonna look for that, Sissy, or you want us to come
Yeah,
back
it
to
is,
that? You say you want us to come back to it, Sissy?
wait a minute. Yeah, that's what the bill says, so we need to go check it.
Yeah, it seems,
You wanna cut
Okay,
that
we'll
water off?
put Jerry, yeah, we'll cut ourselves off.
yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't have
Just-
any.
just
We'll
Connect it for
ask
that price.
Jerry Ortiz to go over there and check on it, see what's
Okay.
going on.
All right,
Something's amiss.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else on page 2? Page 3? Page 4? Page 5? Page 6? Page 7?
A lot of stuff on Hubbard's that we could probably buy at Tractor Supply.
I think what that comes back to with Tony being out, they just run down there and get it. We'll address it again.
Just say no.
Page 8?
Thank you.
This, Jeff, I got a question.
Okay.
I noticed that, Jamie Favre is being reimbursed a pretty good sum of money. I'd kinda like to recommend that we get him a city credit card with his name on it, so that he don't have to lend the city money for 2 weeks or so to get reimbursed on this. If he's gotta buy meals for inmates and things, he should have some type of credit card that he can run through without having to use his own personal funds for this. Maybe it's something we could talk about in council business.
Okay. All right, page 9. Page 10.
So I know I've asked this question and I've slept since then, forgot the answer. The ignition, interlock ignition, I can't find it where we're getting reimbursed from the people that we're paying to get these ignitions installed. I look on the judicial payments and stuff like that, is it somewhere that they're paying us for them to put these interlocks in their cars?
Who puts the interlock in?
We're paying for them, so evidently we
Well,
must, is
this,
that what that's for?
well, this invoice in particular is the collections the court gets, and then we have to pay them to the state. Now, I'm not sure who installs those
Well, we're
systems, maybe it's the
paying
highway
NDOT.
patrol.
Okay, so so we're paying,
These are the fees
right, I mean, it looks like we're
that we
paying for it,
collected
right?
from a person who was fined.
So we can see that on the court report?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
know I asked that and I just couldn't
Now,
remember.
I do not know who installs those systems.
Well, when I was looking through the report, I must have missed, I just couldn't see where we're getting paid or reimbursed for this service.
Yeah,
Okay.
in court, in the daily court fines is where this money comes, and then they accumulate them over a month, then we pay them out. We pay one to the
So-
state and one to MHP.
So I-
So do they designate them as a separate
Right, they
thing,
are,
or
Yeah.
it's all just in the daily court file?
they are segregated. They have their
They're
own code.
segregated.
They're segregated, and we put them in the computer as a liability. We don't take them in as fees per se,
Okay.
not revenue, because they're gonna be paid out at the
Right.
end of the month.
Okay, so we should be able to see it in our court report.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And I think the other one's called II, if you're looking at
Okay.
it. I think it's an
mean,
II.
I've asked about this, I
code.
just couldn't remember what answer it was. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14.
On page 13, the answering service.
That's not an answering service. I think that she's got a description wrong there. That is for our total telephone system,
Oh, okay.
and it's also for our internet access. But yeah, I think she just has that labeled wrong. They do provide an answering service inside of there,
Yes, ma'am.
like a hold pattern when you call if somebody's on the phone, but it's not a true answering service.
Oh, okay, thank you.
On page 14, the crushed concrete, is that rock or is it just crushed concrete?
I think this was the crushed concrete on this. They've been alternating, or getting some of both to put in different areas, depends where they putting it.
Okay,
But this here went mostly out Ward 6, on the roads out there to try to start building a foundation and everything for
Okay.
any improvement. And it locks up pretty good with the rain and
Right.
everything.
okay. All right,
One more thing, Chuck, on page 12,
yes, sir.
under the State Fire Academy, maybe we're sending somebody to the investigative class to determine who's that individual that we're sending.
Which,
Fire
It's like to
academy.
get certification as
under
an
Mississippi or
investigator that
what?
we were
Yeah,
looking for.
fire
Or is it under
investigative
state?
class. Fire service manager.
State,
state,
State Fire Academy.
under the S.
I think Mr. Hoffman asked, is that the investigator that we're looking for, that we're training, that we're sending to get certified?
Right.
This is one of our Mr. Hardman.
Mr. Harden went to one,
I mentioned it to one.
and
Fire
Brian-
service management.
Yeah, Brian Mentor went to fire service manager.
Yeah, they're the only two individuals. And
Okay.
fire investigator, Mr. Matt Hardman went.
Okay.
So I
And
think they're
that's
trying
to get a certification that we were looking for.
Well, I think they're trying to get more of them certified with
Yeah.
them.
Okay. To help with the insurance and our fire rating. Good deal. Thank you.
All right. All right, so we have a total docket of $475,615.56. Need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Hoffman,
Second.
second by Councilman Smith. Any more discussion? If not, vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0. All right, then we have to approve the final budget amendments for 2017-2018 budget year.
And those were not ready by the deadline on Friday, so I'm asking on the item D, because I was unsure if I was gonna get done or not. I'm asking item D if y'all could set another meeting later in October
To
to do the
approve.
final, to approve the final budget amendments. They need to be approved to be in compliance by October 31st.
We need to send another meeting, or we just recess
Recess
this
it.
meeting?
We can just recess and set a date.
How long is it gonna take you, Sissy, to get this?
It shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 days to look
Okay.
at it. I mean, I don't do that full time, but I think I can have it done within like 3 days.
They don't
Next
do it.
Tuesday?
When?
P&Z,
We got P and Z next Tuesday.
I guess. Right? No,
Thursday,
yeah, P&Z's the 30th, so we got Tuesdays open.
Tuesday.
I'll give her a little extra time.
Yeah, that will work.
Tuesday week.
Is that
That'll
enough
work.
time, or you wanna do it like
No, that's fine.
Wednesday, Thursday?
No, that's fine.
Wednesday, Thursday, next week? Or this week?
She said Tuesday's fine. I was saying Wednesday, Thursday next week, if she needs more
Tuesday the
time.
23rd.
I'm out in training that next week
So
anyway,
you want Tuesday of next week, is that what
Yeah,
you're
that'll be
talking
good. That'll be
October
sufficient.
23rd.
about? Okay, twenty-third, is that good with
You got that?
everybody?
I mean, I won't make that one, I don't think, but y'all go ahead.
Okay. For 5:30, Sissy?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Lisa, for 5:30, October
If you
23rd.
can
Just remind
get
us to recess the
quorum.
meeting instead of closing it tonight.
Yeah,
Everybody good?
Yeah, it could be, they called me up, I gotta travel.
yeah, if you just, Lisa, if you just remind us.
I'll actually start Friday on out for vacation, so I won't be here, but I will take it.
Okay,
Well, like, remind us in like 30 minutes so we don't close the meeting.
right.
I probably won't be able to be here either because I have a conflict, but I don't know if y'all are.
We won't do
Yeah, it's
anything
pretty much just
illegal
go
while
with
you're not
The
here.
only thing we're gonna do.
Is that a promise?
No
Have a-
comment.
A revolt.
All right, so
Alright.
we need to hold off on
Do we need to vote on that, Heather, or just set it? We don't
No,
need to
you-
vote
when
on that?
we- Yeah, when we adjourn, you can just recess it at that
Okay.
time.
Right, just
All
recess
right.
it.
All right. Ordinances? There's nothing? Okay. Public forum sheet. Thank you, Ms. Heather. All right, we have Rhonda Oliver.
Hi, Rhonda Oliver,
Yes,
Ward
ma'am.
5. Hi, buddy. Hadn't seen you lately. Hadn't seen you either, Mr. Mr. Knobloch. I thought you were gonna come by and look at my, my ditch.
I'm sorry, I might have missed that.
Huh?
I may have missed that.
Oh, okay.
Can we swing by tomorrow?
That'd be great.
What's your address?
I'll tell you later. Buddy knows. Ask Buddy. Later. It's Ward 5. The end of the year balance on your budget. Were y'all over or under?
Ms. Sissy?
Are you talking about revenue, expenses, or cash balances?
What's the bottom line? Were you over your budget? Under the budget?
No, we were under budget.
How
Bottom
much?
line. Let's see.
Approximately. It's
Have to
not,
look it up. I don't do approximates very well.
is my time running?
It's running.
Yes, ma'am.
Sissy, hurry up.
I'll answer it later. Go on with your stuff.
In the last 2 weeks, how much overtime have y'all used?
I work about 10 hours extra a week.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about employees in the city.
I have no idea. That's information.
Y'all just approved it. Y'all just approved the docket, didn't you?
It's just payroll, yeah.
And you don't look at it?
Yes, ma'am, I look at every one of my documents, but I don't see how much each person works. I
Right.
look at every one of my documents, and I have notes on them.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I do my homework,
Okay,
I don't know
I've been in
who's
these meetings when
working.
somebody made 5 hours of overtime in one pay period, and it was like, you're going to jail
You going
for
to
spending
jail?
5 hours of overtime.
No, ma'am, I don't.
Some people had 80 hours of overtime in the last 2 weeks.
That's impossible.
Did you look?
80 hours of overtime?
Did you look?
They work 12,
I don't-
13
I don't-
hours a day and
Had
Saturday,
140
Sunday,
hours
and
last pay
everything
period.
else.
Do what?
I had 140 hours, 145 hours last pay period.
Well, Dally,
14
you're really
hour
good
days.
at it.
They work 7, 12 to 14 a day.
For cruising the coast and everything,
Yeah.
correct? They was out there all
That's where the
weekend.
inmate- That's where the inmates stay.
Yeah, but y'all hadn't cut grass all summer, and all of a sudden you're gonna cut grass in the last 2 weeks?
They cut grass every week. Every week.
I know the times I was downtown.
I don't know where, but it wasn't in Board 5. Huh? No. And a lot of other places too, because you ride around town and see it. It's terrible. Nothing yet, Sissy?
Well, I can give you the preliminary number, but it's September 30th hasn't been closed out yet.
Okay, all right.
So-
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay.
15 seconds.
Okay. And as far as prisoner lunches, doesn't the sheriff's office give them a sandwich when they leave?
No, not on weekends, and they gotta serve them 3 meals a day. If we go get them before a certain time on weekends, bring them back after a certain time, we're responsible for their supper also.
And we still paying the sheriff $5,000, $6,000 a
Still
month?
Maybe you'd like to cook and donate some food to them.
I don't cook, Mike.
Really? Come on.
I'm not allowed to cook. I'm not allowed in the kitchen.
Thank you, Ms. Rhonda.
Thank you, Ms. Rhonda.
They would accept it.
Sissy,
Yes,
the hours, the payroll hours,
correct.
why can't we get them on the same sheet as the payroll like we used to?
Well, because there's only a certain amount of, I think there's 160 characters that these new reports give us.
Can you take out something else and put the hours there?
Yes, I
Because
can, and I requested the council to tell me which columns they wanted to take out, but I don't know if y'all had any ideas at that moment.
Okay.
But there's a lot of columns that were asked to be put into the hours report, including vacation, sick, personal leave, holiday pay, bereavement pay, comp time.
Well, I think we just
So-
want the same reports, the same information that we were getting prior to this system.
Okay, so you want
Now-
the encode report that we no longer use? Is that
Just
the
what,
one?
I don't care where you get the information. I mean, just we're not getting the information we were getting prior to this new
See, I
system.
left the meeting early last time, and
Right, all the
I was gonna
information
ask you
is
about
here.
that. And I would really like to see the hours by the individuals. And maybe I can look at, I didn't know you had asked that, but maybe I can look at it and I can give, and I'm just one person on the council. I can give you what we would like to, what I would like to take.
So what exactly are you looking for? I mean, I know what the old encode report used to look like.
Okay, you remember the hours, like we used to do the other reports?
Right.
We had the hours and they had the overtime hours and
Right.
things like that. That's what I like to see.
Okay, so the hours report is not helpful to anyone?
Well,
I can
what I
stop-
have to do is
I
go
can
to,
stop running it?
on the other ones, I had to go to another page and compare it to the individual, instead of going to another page, another sheet of paper, you know, to look at it all on the same paper,
Okay,
is easier.
okay. Well, I can contact Paylocity and see what the cost would be for them to write that report. I wrote these myself, so that's certainly a project that we could undertake.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Ms. David Wells.
Thank you, David Wells, Ward 6. My first comment I'd like to make is about public forum. We've only had 3 citizens here tonight, and it seems to me that's the problem with that. I don't know why there's not more citizens here, but I've got my own ideas and opinions. I won't share them with you. But a lot of times, we want to come speak at public forum, and I kind of think if a citizen comes in here and has a legitimate complaint or an issue, sometimes it may take more than 3 minutes. And I think y'all ought to kind of maybe reconsider this time frame. And like we've been here, about an hour, and so it takes at least that long even to get on a public forum. I would make a recommendation. I attend DMR meetings, and how they do their comments is they have their agenda, and if you want to speak at an issue on the agenda, they take your public forum when they're addressing that agenda. And that way, a citizen wouldn't have to sit here for an hour, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours before they could speak. And I just feel like, as a citizen, I mean, we pay your salaries. And it looks like to me that y'all are using this public forum not to listen to the constituents. And I find that offensive. And to be cut off for 3 minutes. I mean, we have a council president. If you're bloviating, you can kind of, you know, that's
Yes.
enough. I mean, you know, but that's just my kind of concern about that. Because sometimes I want to be on the agenda, but you got to sign up Friday before you can be on the agenda, but you don't always use that rule. So I just think there's some issues there that I would really appreciate y'all considering, thinking about the constituents that do show up here, to give them a right to their voice and not, you know, kind of stop them from speaking and addressing. And the other, real quick, docket of claims. We normally get a docket of claims. I'm sitting back here, I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all used to provide them for us. I wish y'all would continue to do that. Okay. What? Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, I'm not, I just, you know, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Engineers report. And we consider that, Mr. Wells. I'll consider it, okay.
Jason Kenichi, we only have one item that requires action that we're requesting tonight. It's change order number 3. This is for Commercial Electric of Long Beach. This is the contractor performing the light relocation project on Highway 90 that is being funded by MDOT. The change order includes 5 additional days to the contract time. MDOT did not allow them to work during cruising the coast, so the contractor is asking for those 5 days back. There was one item that they had to do some additional concrete removal where they were going to set a light pole, and the old highway was actually buried underneath the side of the road. It was 8 inches thick, so they had to cut out a big portion of that concrete to set the new light pole. And then the final item was some labor material to tie in some additional lights near Bush Log. What happened, MDOT had required, after the contract was already let, they had adjusted their median work, and it required 3 additional light poles to be relocated. Well, that cut power to the light poles downstream of theirs. So they had some additional conduit and wires that they had to install to provide power to those 3 lights. So the total change order amount is $3,996.14. This is to MDOT for their approval as well. Once we approve it tonight, it is 100% reimbursable by MDOT, and we've cleared all these costs through them. We just need the formal approval from the council and authorization for the mayor to execute the change order. And we'll submit that information over to MDOT for the final approval.
So MDOT is going to give
Yes,
us
sir.
this
This is
money
all
back.
reimbursable costs.
Okay.
Motion.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Seal
Second.
to approve the change order, and second by Councilman Hoffman. And this change order number 3 is for Commercial Electric of Long Beach for the Highway 90 lighting modification project. Any discussion? Let's vote the motion. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. We'll prepare the documents for the mayor to sign tomorrow. That's the only action item we have. If there's any other questions, we'll be certain to
I have a
answer
couple.
those. Sure.
I noticed that you sent out an email earlier about a couple grants or something like that for some sewer improvements earlier.
Oh, DEQ grants, yes, sir.
Yeah. And explain the first one for the Sunset project.
Yeah, so this is the project that we're currently working on. This is the sewer line from Sunset to Dunbar. We're in the process of gathering all the field information to prepare the construction documents to clean that line, video the line, and then come back and line it, and the manholes. We had a meeting with some representatives from DEQ a couple of weeks ago. They recommended that that would be potentially a good project that DEQ could fund through Restore Act. They're really looking at water quality improvements. And with the location of that project, they said this is something that they could fund. So we prepared some documents to submit to the state so that it would be in the system so that they could evaluate the project.
Does that line run on the service road?
It runs, no, sir, it starts at Sunset. It basically follows that ditch that runs from Sunset to
Okay,
Highland,
follow
Esplanade.
the ditch.
Right.
Okay.
And then the last
There
segment
wouldn't be
from,
any road work involved with?
I'm sorry?
There wouldn't be any tearing up the road or any of that kind
No,
of
sir.
stuff? It would just be?
It's all gonna be done inside the pipe,
Right,
from manhole to manhole.
okay.
And the second one was to do some sewer repairs on Ramonita. That's
It's for the
leaching.
lift station.
Yes, the lift
Yes.
station.
Mhm.
And do we have any other concerns that we need to know about, or any other complaints about sewers leaking throughout the city?
In our discussion with Public Works, those were the 2 major ones. I mean,
2 major
yeah.
ones.
Well, we usually get it from Ramonita.
Do we have any other complaints that we need to be knowing about?
Not that I'm aware of from a sewer issue.
Okay.
A lot of the sewer was replaced after the storm, so most of it in the city is.
I just want to make sure we don't have any DEQ complaints or anything like that that we need to be concerned about
No, sir.
anything
And
leaking
by
into fresh
taking action on these two projects, it does show that we're trying to get out in front of them to prevent any future bypasses. So I think it's a good step for those grants.
Also, when you do your engineer's report, can you get them to us like on Friday so we can review them, or anything that you're working on? So
Sure.
just so I know what's in the hopper or whatever coming up.
I was going to suggest this, if it's easier, we could break it up a little bit better and maybe show the action items that we are requesting approval for. If we have to advertise for a project or, for a resolution for a grant or something like that, we can put that at the front of it, and then we'll just give you a recap of all the projects below that. And then that way, if you have any questions, we can address it at the meeting, the following week. But that way, you'll know what action items we're looking for on the front end.
Yeah, this way I
and
can.
not, so it wouldn't be buried in our report.
Yeah, that's why I don't forget about them, and I
Yeah.
just know what's coming up.
We'll give you a breakdown of just about everything that we're working on with Public Works and the administration. Not necessarily go through every topic at the meeting, but if y'all have questions about it, we'll be here to address it.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
How are we looking on the finalization of the sinkhole at the seminary?
We did speak to Public Works about that last week, about closing out some of those costs with the concrete company as far as the boxes and the pipe to get those invoices paid. There was some material that they had left over from the Carroll Avenue project, from the excavation that they hauled over to that site to try to start filling that area in.
Yeah, I saw a little field coming.
Yeah, and then I spoke to Potts yesterday about some of the debris that was removed. That contract was only to install the pipe and the boxes. Everything else really the city was gonna do. We did receive quotes to clean along the ditch. Y'all authorized us to receive quotes. They came in at $3,500 versus we had estimated about $2,200. So I think we're gonna take a look at doing some of that.
They've already begun. They hope to finish up tomorrow.
Okay, so we do that in-house. So that'll help get in there and clean out that ditch and then keep the water going through. We are working on a right of entry from, there's a problem upstream where that line crosses Webster, or where the ditch crosses Webster and drains through the woods behind Miss Bradley's house. That last rain we had, I went out and inspected it, and it was building up a pretty good bit. And if you look at the inlet that's in the seminary, right, that driveway that goes back to the, I guess to the graveyard, to the graves, there was an inlet to the right, to the north side of that, and the water wasn't even getting into that inlet. So there's a lot of debris that I think was getting, blocking up the entrance to that pipe. So we're working with that property owner to get a right of entry so we can go in there and clean that out. I'd really like to reroute that ditch because it does kind of wind through there, but first step is to try to get a right of entry, and hopefully when it dries up enough to get in there and actually clean some of that out.
Reed, did you get the culverts out of there?
That's what I was gonna ask, about the culverts.
They sold them.
You did?
So-
They taking
I was gonna
the
freak
2
out.
footers to Michael's Drive. Is that what you're gonna ask?
Yeah. All right, let me ask, were you gonna set the grade in there to pour the pads for the,
I think that's
catch
what we had
basin?
discussed. We would we work with Public Works to give them an elevation to set the pipes. And then, were you gonna provide and help with the
I was gonna
actual
build
box?
I was gonna build the boxes for
Okay.
you all.
So we can set a TBM out there for you, so you'll have something to work off of,
Right,
and then know what grade and elevation needs to be.
okay.
Okay.
And I was going to, just put in a request, maybe to the city of Waveland, because, Mike told me he got over 100,000 blocks down there, and, just, build the boxes out of blocks. And, we'll backfill them and plaster them, and all we have to do is, put
Yeah.
the rates on top, put the caps on top.
We'll reach out and see what he's got.
Okay, but as soon as, you all put the pads there, our team is ready.
Okay?
And
Yeah, we
Jake,
can get that set next week.
Okay.
At the end of Holman Avenue by the splash pad, it's currently, I think it's an inlet, I would assume for drainage, but it's got the 4 barricades around it, and it's wide open. When are we gonna have that sealed off? I mean, it's so close to splash pad and park and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if there was ever an inlet there, if it was just 2 pipes that ended up, that weren't connected for whatever reason. But yeah, Potts and I did talk about that
Yeah.
when we went through our drainage review through the city. So we can I'll mention that to him again.
Yeah, just the sooner the better. I mean, you have a lot of kids around there. I know it's
Yeah,
just
so
starting to get in the
Put a
fall,
box right there,
but we
Gene,
still have a park
with a
out
grate
there.
on it,
Uh-huh.
or what, but something's gotta be done there.
Yeah. At least great for them.
Did we have any pipe at all left over to fill in behind the old Catalyst? Remember the gentleman came here?
We have some 3-foot
Yeah,
possibility.
less than 36.
I don't know if that's big enough though.
Okay.
I went and
Bless
looked at it, I think it's 15-inch pipe in there, but it was pretty hard to get to. So it just needs 15-inch culvert behind the talus.
I thought it was big.
Huh?
I thought that was the big one coming through.
I thought so too, but I went over the other day and hacked around in the bushes, it is overgrown terribly.
Yeah.
And, I couldn't actually get the tape down in there, but it seemed to be a 15-inch. I need to clean
Okay.
out some and try to get in there and get them measured.
We got to probably stick it to yours.
I think when we talked to Mr. Emanini way back then, we agreed to put 2 culverts in for him behind that building, if I remember correctly.
2 20-footers,
Yes,
so 40 feet of cover.
40 feet of culvert and fill the ditch in.
Do we have that laying on the yard anywhere, Mr. Mayor?
They probably have some.
Right, got some? Okay.
I think they usually keep 15, 2 pieces of 15 and 18 in stock over there.
Okay. I mean,
Let me verify that size first, Mike.
are you just gonna
Yeah, we
connect
can
it
go
to
look
what's
at that.
there, or are you gonna build a catch basin there?
That's what I need to get it cleaned out where I can get in and see it.
Okay. Cause if
Got
you
a
build
concrete head wall on it.
cause if you build a catch basin, you could put 18 in that, can't you? 2 18s?
Let me go look and see what it looks like.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
Any
Thank
more
you, Jason.
questions for Mr. Kenichi?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, council, new and old business, Mr. DeSalvo?
Well, okay.
One of the things I had, Mayor, was, July 24th, we had 3 houses we declared menaces to be tore down. I think Don was gonna get some quotes and see about getting quotes or doing it in the house, and I was wanting to follow up on the progress of that.
Okay.
See if
I'll
you got
find
any.
out, see where he's at, if you got the quotes from it.
Yeah, 'cause I don't want none of this stuff we went through that expired before we actually take action on it,
Yes.
like's happened in the past.
Okay.
Other than that, no, everything's good. We got more water in Ward 6 for nothing than we got for the storm they threatened a while back. This had a lot come in, I think in your ward too, Doug, so, but that's about it.
Yeah. That was all 3 to be torn down, Josh?
Yes, there was, 10002 Perch Street, 4059 Robin Street, and 5211 First Avenue.
What was the second, what street was that?
Robin, R-O-B-I-N.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Find out tomorrow.
Mr. Zimmerman?
First off, I'd like to thank the mayor and the Public Works Department for the work they've accomplished out in Wards 5 and 4. Yes, it is. They did some fantastic work out there. We had some problems with the house getting some water in it. We shouldn't see that again. There's still some work to do, but the work they've done so far has been excellent. Culverts are cleaned out. The first little rain that came out, that cleaned all the dirt out of the remainder of the dirt that was in the culverts. I would also like to see if we can get that ditch blower back in service now that grass cutting's slowing down. You can do a lot of ditch with that machine on ditches that's not that badly in need. I also went and looked at the culverts along and out behind Gary's place. There's a bunch of the culverts in that area that's actually broke up, and we need to get a project together of replacing maybe as many as 5 different sets of culverts in there to get that working.
Yeah, we looked at that, and a lot of those, when you make the turn in front of the old arts and crafts place.
You go in 10th Street, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, those culverts coming down through there are just all, they're going.
They completely chewed up, and there's no way to even work on them and try to tie something in.
And we can probably go in there and take some of those up and leave one for entrance, and then the rest would stay open until they.
So Some of the street culverts are also bad, Mike. They got some issues there that need to be handled.
There's a lot.
And until we fix those issues, all the cleaning in the world's not gonna give us any relief. We gotta get in there and change the culverts. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. Mr. Smith?
Yes, Ward 4 also is deeply grateful for the work that the city did for the ditches in my ward. In your ward, Councilman Reed, there's a house that was torn down. I think it's the one that the Carter used to own. It's just the roof there.
Mm-hmm.
The lady that lives like maybe 2 houses down was complaining about the guy is selling material and wood and stuff off of that property.
Who's selling it?
The guy who tore the house down, from my understanding. That's what she told me. Anyway, the roof needs to go. It's just, it's being held up, just suspended by like one piece of wood or
I
something.
thought the city was tearing it down. The city tearing that house down? Yeah,
I don't think so.
on the corner.
No, I think that was out.
Yeah, I think he took it.
We'll find out, give a dime tomorrow on that one.
Okay.
But I
Yes,
think,
sir.
that's not the city on that one.
No, sir, that was private. Private.
I'm not sure if maybe if the owner didn't do it on his own. I'll find out though tomorrow.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
there's just a roof there, Mike, and
Yeah.
it could just collapse any second, and it's causing a lot of problems
Okay.
with people there. But that's all, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Hoffman?
No, that was it.
Mr.
Randy.
Seals?
Couple contractual issues. The tourism, did we ever find a contract with tourism?
Contract note, do have information, I'll send out, get with her. We probably do need to come into
Yeah.
contract like you were saying.
Yes. We need to have a contract.
Get with Heather and get her to start working on that.
Okay. Yeah, we need a contract so we can have rules of engagement on this. Also grass cutting contract, we're getting close on that.
Yes. They supposed to send out the total package, they sent parts of it to Heather. We had parts and they put together the whole thing on their pricing and everything.
Okay. And last thing on the new software, payroll change request forms, are they in our packages or in our software? Have we had any?
Thought they was, Lisa. I saw an email back
I
from
did
you,
that.
didn't get put on.
Yeah, that's what
They
I
were
was-
sent over here manually. The paperwork was sent over here because it was so much, but it was, we got the email today, so we need to put it inside Granicus. So
should
I
be-
guess y'all didn't get that on
No,
y'all's agenda.
that's sort of me, and that's what I was trying to figure out, if they should be inside of Granicus, right? Should have no paper. Is that the?
That's the new rules.
The goal.
the
Yes.
goal that would attach to the document, as part of the document trail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I was just asking. Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Mr. Knobloch?
Go back to Jamie Favre, maybe we can approve a credit card. Sissy, what would be the procedure for that, so he don't have to use his own funds to pay and then be out of pocket for 2 weeks?
Well, we could do it one of two ways. We could have a petty cash account set up. I'm not sure, how often is this gonna be happening? Do you know?
Well, it
does
kinda
anybody
happens a
know?
lot, whenever he picks up prisoners, you know.
And what
he
happened
gets-
last time was keeping them late in the evenings, where they usually get lunch. They've been shut down for them, and then picking them up early before breakfast on weekends.
Yeah, I just think that you could just issue him a credit card with a limit on it, and as long as he brings back the receipts on what he's doing, that way you can reconcile your accounts.
Right, and if that's the case, then the council probably just needs to authorize that to happen, because it's like a bank account, kind of.
Okay.
so.
We just limit the card to $1,000, $1,500.
Anything, yeah, like 1,500, you know, you just never know when he has,
Do we
he does a
have-
lot of stuff.
I know he drives them
City
for,
credit card now?
We do, we have one city credit card through the First Bank.
So I know there's also.
We've been very
offer-
hesitant to have credit cards
Yeah, there's-
because they can get away from you so easily. People will
Yeah.
lose their receipts, they don't have any motivation to bring the receipts to you because they're not out of pocket, so.
No, and I think DFA has all kind of rules and regulations as to how they're supposed to be used, where they're supposed to be used, so just something you and I may need to look into,
Yeah.
just to make sure that it's okay for him to have it. There's just different procedures and things that they can be spent on and aren't supposed to be spent on, so just we just need to look into it.
Yeah, either way, I mean, have him spend $650 out of his own pocket and then wait 2 weeks, and that could put a financial hardship on,
I agree.
on somebody, you know, pay for city.
Well,
So
no,
the only way around that without a credit card would be a petty cash account. Then your cash would be on site to reimburse the person, and then the docket would have a check on it to
And
reimburse petty
reimburse petty
cash.
cash.
So the petty cash drawer would be waiting, but not the person.
What's easier for you?
There are risks associated with both.
Cash is walks, you know, but
Yeah,
credit card, you
yeah.
can at least keep up and there's a
It's,
fraud.
yeah, it's a catch-22. I don't really prefer either method, but.
I like the credit card, he's just one individual, as long as he controls his card or whatever, and just use it for, you know.
Yeah, that would be up to, if y'all wanna authorize that, we can look into it further.
I'll make a motion that we authorize it, that they look
Credit card.
into
Why
allowing
don't-
Jamie Barr.
to look
Why don't we
into it.
hold off on a formalized motion right now, but we'll just take it and we'll look into it and bring back exactly what you need to authorize. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Mike, can you give me your card?
Yes.
You see, that's the one thing that I don't like, because if it lost or got something, you know, whatever, you know, it's, you know.
Who watches, the prisoners throughout the day?
We have a couple of them that can watch them and go get them.
Okay.
Don is one, Don is one, Jamie is one, Meek. He's the third one we have that watches. And when they get a group of them, after so many, you have to have two, and then they'll split them up. And when he's on his grass cutting, he'll take them there, and some will take them wherever else is needed.
So when they
And,
work on.
we get them regular, but most of the time they get there, by the time we get there, they have their breakfast, we give them lunch, and we get them back, I think it's before 3:30 or 4 o'clock, so we don't have to provide supper.
Yeah, I was thinking when you used at the ball field and stuff though, where they out there all day
They do,
and fairly late, you know, into the evening cleaning up,
yeah.
doing trash and things like that. So,
Good deal.
you know, they're out there a lot more often than you just see them.
Oh, yeah.
Working
It's-
on
Yeah, we don't see many
grass
food
cutting or
bills
whatever.
this year, we just out keeping them late and everything, and on weekends and everything. A couple weeks ago, we had 10 to 12 that cleaned up around the, garage, parking garage, with a lot of that area over there, if you go by, look and see. But they worked 2 days there, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 12 on, but we had food provided by individuals.
So we had two people watching them,
We had three that day,
3 of them watch, okay.
because the guy that went and got them was one that could get also watching, but he wasn't a city employee.
Okay,
He just donated his time for the weekend,
okay, good deal,
so.
good deal.
We do get them on not as regular as we want, but we do get them.
Well, at least we're getting something back for.
Yeah, I wish we could get 4 a day,
all
every
that
day.
money we pay. Yeah, good, yeah. All right, there no more council business, mayor's report?
We got the, did we go through the IT?
Yeah, we need to,
Letter A under the council business motion to approve North Shore Computers.
Okay, I must have an old one, I don't have that. All right, what is it, IT?
Yes, not.
Service agreement.
And that's with, North Shore?
It's,
yes,
this is the agreement here. It's,
Okay.
what does it say? Motion to approve the North Shore Computer Services IT Service Agreement.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Hoffman to approve the North Shore Computer Service IT Service Agreement.
second, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
addendum included.
All right, Councilman Hoffman have amended his motion to include the addendum, second by Councilman Smith. Any discussion?
Yes. Plenty of it. So how did we get to this approval stage? You know, we talked about having a group go out and look in Omni and come back to the council with a proposal. I personally don't think we need to go into a monthly contract with them, from a monetary standpoint. Previous months, we've used 22.5 hours with Omni. So if I go with 25 hours at their $75 rate, I'm only giving $22,500, which is $8,700 a year savings.
But the issue there, Doug, is especially right now, they're gonna be putting out a lot of hours in order to get us to where we need to be, because the last organization that we had here did not do their job properly. All of the systems are gonna have to be updated to Windows 10 in order to comply with the new update that's coming in for the software for the city through Encode. Next, we're looking at them putting into a lot of hours with both servers, plus a lot of hours with uploading 859 gigs of data, which we had been previously charged for. In fact, I just had a bill today. Right now, the bill for this month was $1,400 for that. So also, moving the emails is gonna take a lot of time. So it would behoove us to make sure that they're on a monthly contract right now, because all of those services would be included. If we keep them at an hourly rate, it'd be through the roof.
Right, because we have 87 hours of overtime. That would be a call-out rate, $100 an hour, to match the 31,000, or 20, the $31,000 that we're looking at a month. So after the initial shock, then we're gonna be paying them, to me, we're gonna be paying them more than we need to, quite honestly.
But this contract's a month-to-month contract.
Yeah.
That we can
Correct.
change
So
over
we can
to-
change it,
Yes.
you know, as
Just
well as
the initial changeover from Almy to North Shore is gonna be
right.
Yeah,
You know,
it's gonna
because we
take a
don't
lot of
know,
time.
a huge
you know,
amount of time.
email service, how much is the email service gonna be?
The email service is actually gonna be about the same.
So $659,
So that 31, that's a year, right?
yeah, $31.20 a year.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're looking at another $7,912.08. Log me in's $479, so you're looking at right at $39,591.
Right.
If we're staying the same, right? And again, if I did some work, and the hours that I see, 25 hours should be more sufficient from just a breakdown of what,
From a long-term
from a long-term standpoint. So if we can go into for 1 month with understanding that we're gonna go into a monthly or an hourly after that,
Well,
and really see where, because, he stands up there and says, man, I can do everything from home, and takes me 10 minutes 2 hours to update a server.
Right.
What's the big deal?
Right.
But again, until we get to that point, I'm just
Exactly.
questioning the cost of really what we wanna get ourselves into, but.
Because just moving the email itself, Josh and I, we had a third party come in and tell us, look, we're gonna charge you $7,000 to do this job. Well, it's gonna be included
Okay.
in the cost that we're doing right now. So we gave them, today, and we looked at giving them 4 important key points to look at: data storage, email, a couple other things. But that's gonna take quite some time to do, and it's gonna take a couple months to get us where we need to
Right.
be.
Okay. I don't mind getting into a monthly basis for a couple months.
Right.
So funding, right? So it looks like this year we have $108,000 for computers and computer software. And so and I'll just begin looking at everything. Each entity, some entities have computer and software as a price, and some of them just have computer. So the computer and software, when we did that, that's their computer support. And so it's, building department has $4,500 computer slash software. So if they buy $4,000 in software, then where's their support money come from?
Sometimes, some departments use the category called maintenance agreements.
Okay,
If they
so
have
that's part of
if they
it.
have an annual maintenance agreement, and I know building department does have about
Okay.
a $3,000, $4,000 maintenance agreement that they need to do with
Okay.
Encode.
Yeah.
So the combination of those may be what
Those
they're
two.
paying with their computer with.
Okay, again, I'll put the spreadsheet together on the cost and what we're really paying for, and, the account says 21,000, but I think Grannis is part of a huge chunk of that, and we got, police department only has $12,000, but I think they're buying equipment, right, servers or something?
Yes, sir, they are fine.
It's like
Or you already got
12,000.
your-
They're buying,
Software.
software, annual
Ours is
updates.
gonna be on annual maintenance agreements. I've got
Okay.
I'm pitching one this evening, Power DMS, but we still are looking at a new record management system that, all these programs these days are gonna require an annual maintenance agreement. And that's what we're budgeting for, that's why ours went up significantly this year, because we're upgrading all that stuff. So-
Okay,
So-
yeah.
So North Shore won't have anything to do with your system?
No, sir.
Y'all-
Oh, well, they're
You
gonna
will-
connect us to our server. We have a server on site separate from the city server, and we still use the city email, and we still use our server, and they're gonna handle our data storage for us. But as far as our records management system, it'll be supported by whoever we get the records management from in this, new training program, so. But we still need an IT company that will link us to our server and make sure our data's getting stored and all that stuff.
Basically, they have their Granicus type program, and then
Okay.
it's got to
Yeah.
be tied in by somebody.
Okay, I mean, so I don't mind getting to a month-to-month with North Shore. After a couple months, we will look at it, and to me, I think we'll need to put them on a leash.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Again, they're talking $75 hourly, it's $100 on weekends, so it doesn't say overtime. So, I don't mind doing that, but we do need to look at, we're looking at a cost, savings, so,
Maybe after the first year, we can look and see where we're at
yeah.
and see if everything's done.
Cool.
It's big
Yep.
jobs, then
So are they gonna give us a price to upgrade all these computers to Windows 10?
I'll include it.
How do they get all those licensed?
Well, because if you have a Windows 7 machine, if you have a Windows 7 machine and it's already got a valid license on it, you can move up to Windows 10. There was a window there for quite some time where Windows 10 was given for free, and that should have been done by the previous IT company like 2 years ago, but they never did it. So what this IT company can do is come in and upgrade the Windows 10, and if they don't, the people at the station don't particularly like the Windows 10 interface, they can put a software on it to make it look like Windows 7 and handle like Windows 7, so they would never really tell the difference.
But it would be available to use as Windows 10, right? for anything
That's
that needs
correct,
to be
yeah.
run.
Yeah, because everything needs to be moved to Windows 10 for the upgrade
For
for.
the upgrade.
Simple. All right, we good.
All
Thank you.
right. All right, there's a motion by Councilman Hoffman, second by Councilman Smith. If there's no more discussion,
I
let's
got
vote.
one quick question, and I apologize, I didn't catch this earlier. Sissy, this is to be paid before the 5th of every month. Do you need that to be the 15th? Do you
there's
think
no
that-
way. By
That's-
state
I
law,
know,
we
I just caught that.
Yeah, by state law, we have 45 days to pay an invoice once
Yeah.
we receive it.
I know.
But normally we try to pay it within 2 weeks.
I mean, do you
with
want me
the
to
docket
just strike
schedule.
that
Yeah,
one
I
paragraph?
would strike
just
that. I would say we'll be paid as pursuant to
In
state
the amount
law.
of 26, yeah.
So the first payment will be the 1st of November? Because we're already halfway through this month.
Say 45 days, right?
Well, I think we're gonna have to assume.
December.
Right,
have
we
to-
have by law 45 days, but we normally just turn the invoice in as soon as we get it. But by the 5th is gonna be impossible with council meeting days.
So we're gonna have to just work out, which I don't think is necessarily a contract thing, we're just gonna have to work out with them how they wanna be paid. It might be a pro rata part for the month of October, and then do from November, solid month to keep it clean.
Right.
So we can, I think, administratively work that out, but we're just gonna have to let them know that paid pursuant to state law, 'cause.
Right, and if the
it's not-
addendum, I don't know if the addendum's attached, but if it is, I think it
It is,
addresses.
I think I caught, I think
I think
it's
it
covered,
addresses
and I know
that.
it says like first state law,
Yeah.
but I just.
Okay,
was
yeah, just
that
strike it and make sure.
vibrant, Yeah.
So I'll amend my motion to include the stricken portion by city attorney.
Second.
All right. All right, so there's a motion by Councilman Hoffman, second by Councilman Smith. There's no more discussion, let's vote the motion. Motion passes 7-0. All right, mayor's report.
Street closures for Halloween, y'all wanna approve that. I don't know if y'all looked at the surplus engine 4 from the fire department and donated to the Fenton Fire Department.
We'll go ahead and
Wanna
we'll
do
take
one at a time?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Street closures for Halloween.
All right, we need to approve a street closure for the 300 and 400 block of Democracy Street, Jackson Boulevard at Felicity Street, Corinth Drive at Dunbar Avenue, Highland Drive, and Spanish Acres on Halloween evening, October the 31st, 2018. Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? That's everything, Mike, on this?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all we have so far.
All right, let's vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. B is to approve the surplus of engine 4, to surplus engine 4 and donate 2,000 International to the Fenton Fire Department. This truck's out of date. We received nothing from it. We've taken the hoses and everything off of it, which did get us some points for backup equipment and everything. It's
Okay.
mining them fields, no use to us, anything at all.
So we're just giving them the engine?
Yeah, they would like to donate to Fenton. They can spend the money and fix it up. They don't have the requirements that the city does, for the pressure and everything they need.
Cool.
All right. So we need a motion to approve the surplus of engine 4 and donate the 2,000 International to the Fenton Fire Department.
I'll make a motion that we
Yeah.
donate the engine to Fenton Fire Department.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Knobloch,
Second.
second by Councilman Hoffman. One discussion.
Can
Do
you
we
just add pending attorney's
Don't
approval?
we have to surplus it first?
Well, yeah, we need to surplus it.
You can do that all in one motion, and your surplus, what it is, motion to approve the surplus and donate.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that I wanna look in, but as long as, is the Fenton Fire Department, are they considered a governmental agency?
It's well, as far as I know, they're a
Quasi-governmental
quasi-governmental agency. They're a subcategory of Hancock County, but that's what I was asking him is, I'm not sure if they're a 501(c) or if they're, commissioned in some other state form to be a government agency. So I'm
Yeah,
not
so
sure
that's what
about
we need to
that.
look into, just
Right.
to see the appropriate method to donate it.
So I just wanna make sure that they are indeed allowable to accept a donation, so pending your maybe review and approval, if you
Yeah.
can find
Yeah.
some more
Yeah, you
information
can do
out.
that.
So these motions is pending our
That one is, yeah.
attorneys of review, right?
Yes.
That's
I'll
correct.
go ahead and amend the motion to surplus it to Fenton Fire Department, pending the city attorney Heather Smith's recommendation or
Okay.
verification.
All right. And second by Councilman
Second,
Hoffman.
yes.
Any more discussion? There's no more discussion, vote to motion. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next one, same with the fire department. I guess we need to surplus this equipment. It's motion would be to surplus and approve the sale of fire decks, FXR bunker gear to the city of Pastor Strand for $1,796. We had a fire person leave, went to the pass. This equipment fits them. That's our cost. That's what we paid, 17. So they would just reimburse us the money.
So we don't have to, are we just gonna give it to them and they're gonna pay us the money?
They're gonna pay us.
So we don't have to surplus it, do we?
Right, I think we do need to
I
surplus
think we need to surplus
and
it to
sell
sell.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we need a motion to, surplus the sale of fire DX FXR bunker gear to the city of Pasco Stand for $1,796.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Zimmerman,
Second?
second by Councilman Smith. Any discussion?
We forgot to include that it's the khaki color. I'm kidding. That's what it says in the letter, that's right.
All right, let's vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0.
And
Thank
just
you.
the background for the council, I did talk with, I have an email from the Department of Finance, and they said that this procedure is totally allowable for another municipality.
Yeah, it's an intergovernmental transfer,
Right.
which is
Yes.
fine.
Next, thought they might be here to represent, if you remember, it's been a while back, we, agreed with the council maybe to go after a grant to fix up depot,
Yes.
thinking the train was coming. Since then, we're not sure what's going on with that, it's still being looked at. The cost was $55,000, split between the city and the county, 50-50. The grant was for $110,000. Since then, CSX, we've talked, and they've hit all the cities along the coast with any work being done. If I'm not mistaken, it's a flagman fee or somewhere, maybe $1,000 an hour, something like that they charge you, or $1,000 a day, and, yeah, for the day. And, he said it wouldn't exceed $30,000, and it'll go within the hundreds of $1,000 with the work they wanted to do over that. The little bit of work we have is replacing a few pieces of tile along the edge, and then the ramp, if the train comes or whatever. So, something he wanna know if we're still interested in doing, Do we wanna keep pursuing this grant right now? We wanna put it on hold? Or what? Pleasure of the council on that one.
What's the status? Have we heard anything else on Amtrak coming through?
Well,
I have not heard anything lately. I know the governor didn't support the funding of it. You know, they was hoping for BP funds possibly going to it. Alabama's governor didn't support it, so right now it's still in limbo. Not sure where funds are coming from. They're still trying to research and find the funds, but, you know, there's no definite. You know, before we thought it was pretty close to coming, but right now we're not.
I would say hold up, because the county didn't want to match the funds neither on the county side, so we're probably just
Yeah.
throwing good money after bad right now.
And I can't see fixing up that side anyway, because nobody even looks at that side.
Yeah.
No.
It's like,
And the work that needs to be done with the ramp and all come up, the handicap ramp can be done without
I
even
think
getting
we
close
could do
to
that
that,
in-house.
to that line.
Well, until we're sure that Amtrak is coming through.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one, the,
Mascaries and then the wastewater.
yeah, would be the power software agreement, DMS software agreement with the police department, and that's for policy and training coming.
Yeah, this, Power DMS agreement, it'll be a yearly fee, around $1,800 $1,800.90. And what Power DMS is gonna do for us is we're pushing out new policies and procedures, and this is gonna give all of our employees access to our policies and procedures online. We'll be able to train and monitor that training, and also, take tests and do videos and stuff online pursuant to our policies for the police department and, for the new city policies that'll be coming out also. And what it does is it tracks that training electronically. It gives all employees access to it anytime they have access to the internet. So it's something that we really need, and you know, we want to get away from just everybody having a couple pieces of paper in the trunk of their car. We want to be able to put it on a computer for them and have it on their phone or whatever they can, you know, get in front of the internet. It's also searchable, so kind of like Municode. You can go into our policy manual and type up use of force or type up vehicle pursuit, and it'll pull up all the policies relevant to that.
So what do we have in place currently? Nothing as far as software goes?
Yeah, it'll be an initial cost for the software, I think is like $1,000, and then just the annual fee is gonna be $1,890.
$1,890.
Yes, sir.
and Gary, is this something we're gonna use in conjunction with like our sister city, Waveland? I mean, do they use the same thing?
They do not. Gulfport, yeah, we use it in Gulfport. And the benefit of this is we can actually document the training. So it's more than just putting out policy and saying, hey, we have a policy that covers use of force or vehicle pursuits or whatever. But this program will actually document the fact that we trained our employees on it, and it will certify that our employees have been trained, they fully understand the policies, and they were tested on it.
Okay, excellent.
It comes out of DOJ fund?
The initial cost, we actually could probably pull out of DOJ funds. The actual maintenance agreement, I believe we're funded for. We got budgeted for this year. So.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
Yes, we're gonna have to sign an agreement.
Okay, we need a motion, so we need a motion
To approve Power
to
DMS.
approve the Power DMS software agreement.
I'll make a motion that we
Okay,
approve.
motion by
Power
Councilman
DMS.
Hoffman and second by Councilman Knopfler.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor, vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0.
The next one is approve air and oil pickup contract with the harbor. And this contract is no charge for collecting waste oil. And the charge for filters and all is cheaper than what we have now. Chuck recommends going with this company here for that. So he'd like to get that contract approved also.
And they take the oil and recycle it, huh?
They do.
Reuse it.
So, on here, it says disposal charges, $275. On the bottom of their
Might be the
Page
Close for the,
202.
filter.
Well, that's what I don't understand. They're gonna put a new 275-gallon tote there. The question is, where is this 275-gallon tote gonna be? It's gonna be by the water. If it's by the water, it's gonna be diked in, or how's it, what is the spill prevention control plan around oil and water, where it's gonna be located? So, working in an environmental sensitive plant like I do, there's a lot of questions I'd like to understand.
Yeah, he currently has an oil disposal system, so I'm fairly certain this is just gonna take
It's
the
the same
place
site,
of
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
He
I
said
just
it's part of
didn't-
the Clean Marina, portion of the harbor,
Okay.
but no, I
Well,
don't know specifically how it works.
Just a question, didn't know what we're doing today, but the bottom line is, says 275.
Slash 45.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand, what,
Which is
There's, to the left, you see,
That might be for the tank and.
for the tank and the
we'll find out.
55-gallon drum,
Right.
which I'm assuming they run that through the filters and add it into the
Two
drum.
75-gallon and
okay.
55.
It was just at the cost, and I was just wondering how, is it, and if it is a cost, are we charging the voters to use this service?
He said it's included in their marina fee, their
Okay.
Clean Marina fee. He said it is included
Oh,
in
part
there.
of the Clean Marine, okay.
Right, he
all
said
right.
it's in the Clean Marina fee, the
Cool.
cost of this type of service.
Okay.
It's just replacing what we
And
have.
when I used to use air and oil, the only time you had to pay is if it was contaminated.
Okay.
So you don't want too much water and stuff like that in the oil when they pump it out, then they'll charge you back for it.
Okay.
So,
That's fine, I just didn't understand what it was doing and had some questions on that.
because up top it says oil used, no charge, and then bottom, I think that's probably the contaminated price of
Okay,
it.
as long as we're recouping our fees for it,
Mm.
I'm sure we're in compliance, so this is my question.
All right. So we need a motion to approve air and oil waste oil pickup contract.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, motion by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion?
The salvo, second. Oh, okay.
You know,
I
they-
said
they
that
do
as well,
together.
but it's fine.
Nope,
All right.
we're good.
All in favor, vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0.
We'll give Josh a credit.
No, you good.
Let Josh play.
Got a couple of things that came in late. One is we need to come up with ordinance for parking fines. We have no fines set for that. I think Heather was doing a little search on this to find out, I think the suggestion is $50 for parking fines,
You talking about all over the city or?
all over the city. Yeah, we
We're
have
gonna
no-
start citing the golf carts on the sidewalks.
And cars that drive right past the no parking signs and park on
Yeah.
the grass and everything.
Parking in the middle of the street in front of Mockingbird.
They move those signs out of the way too, they're in the way.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
So,
That's a special fine.
Oh,
so Heather, is that something we need to act on tonight?
No, we need to get an ordinance.
Would like to, yeah,
written
we'll
for it,
bring
so
something back,
We're working on that.
maybe
Just
for next Tuesday to get that done.
and Mike, what about painting,
by next
red
Tuesday,
zone?
but-
We're looking at some places for unloading.
No, red zones for no parking.
Oh, yeah, we're also looking on the beach where we can come up with a few places for unloading zones for the areas up
Good.
there.
All right, good
Um,
deal.
That's one thing we might try to, if we can come up with it for next Tuesday's recess meeting, we'd like to come up with that, because they've already started issuing citations, so we need to have something in place when they come to pay.
You have the authority to do that on Beach Road, even though it's a county road?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if it says no parking and they issue a
Yeah.
citation, it's no parking.
The chief has something he'd like to ask about the old uniforms and everything, about donating those down to Florida.
Yeah, with the recent hurricane in Florida, the city of Springfield, Florida, lost a lot of their equipment, all their equipment. We just recently outfitted all our employees with new uniforms. We have a bunch of old uniforms that are used that have no value, that are in surplus at the old police department. What I'd like to do is box up all those old uniforms and send them down to Florida with a truck of supplies to give to the Springfield Police Department and donate to them, so they'll have some uniforms.
I think y'all need to motion
we
that
need to-
surplus.
Ms.
We need a
Heather?
motion to surplus,
Motion.
based that the fair market value of the personal property is 0.
And I make a motion to surplus the old police uniforms at the fair market value of $0 to be donated to the Springfield?
Springfield, yes, sir.
Springfield Police Department
Do you have the other little
And I
town
just
too
wouldn't
that we
use the
need
word
to-
donated, I would just,
I can't remember the name of that other town, but I know it was
I get it
Springfield.
for you. I think I sent it in my email too.
Okay. And Chief Barry Roberts.
So instead of donate, we're gonna send to,
yeah, incentive.
send to the Springfield, Police Department in Florida.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Hoffman,
Second.
second by Councilman Smith. Any discussion?
Yeah, Gary, are y'all planning on bringing that down yourself? Do y'all need any help?
Or is Mickey in a new ring?
I think that, I don't have the personnel to go down there and bring that stuff down there, but I think there's already a convoy that has a bunch of supplies heading that way.
Josh is
So
going.
we are gonna team up with that convoy that's already going down there and make sure that they get
They're
it.
leaving about every 2 days right now with these two cities bringing supplies and all down as they get them.
Just
they
making
have
sure you didn't
drivers.
need any help with that.
Yeah, and so for everybody listening, maybe you wanna put out where the donation centers are?
We have,
I know we put them out, I'm just thinking of, a lot of people probably on Facebook watching. I know there's, the museum, City Hall,
City Hall, well, we had the fire
Fire
department,
departments.
the depot back there, Waveland Fire Department, I think any fire department in the county is accepting donations also, Sheriff's Department.
right?
Those are the main locations,
I
drop
think
off
both
points
city
there.
halls as well, Waveland, St. Louis.
All right.
And just
Is
to let
that-
y'all know, the state law does allow transfer to another governmental agency, even if it's outside of the state of Mississippi. So you have that on top of surplusing property.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they also said that they could use any holsters or belts or anything at this point, so.
We'll look through all the old police department there. There's a bunch of,
Web
old
gear.
gear in there, and, whatever we can salvage that's in good enough shape, we'll send it down there.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
that-
gentlemen.
thank you, sir. There's a motion on the floor by Councilman Hoffman, second by Councilman Smith. If there's no more discussion, let's vote the motion. Motion passes 7-0.
On that same note, there's some, stuff we received from Katrina, bug, mosquito stuff, things like that, that's sitting out in that shed out there. Can we also send this down with?
That's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, them guys use it a little bit, they're a pallet about 6 foot tall, things and all, so.
Was it Pete?
Just the off sprays and stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't know what all it is. They just said there's a pallet of it out there, when we looked at it, we didn't.
So we're gonna,
Just
so
don't
we're
send
gonna
anything
just send that
hazardous
along
that
with
could bust open.
uniforms?
Huh?
So we send that along with the
Sure.
uniform? Yeah.
Do we need to do anything with that, Helen? It was donations from other cities after Katrina, and sent in, it's still there.
Not a part of our surplus, so.
Is it on our inventory? Is it-
No,
Hadn't been counted
It's
yet.
like supplies. That's why I'm thinking it's supplies.
Not counted.
yeah, just different mosquitoes, you know, for bugs and
Mosquito
things like
spray.
that. All that, but it's not in inventory.
Well, I'll get with you guys on that.
Okay.
All right,
All right, so we don't need to do nothing with that tonight then, have we?
No.
Right.
No, no, sir.
Something we
Okay.
could cover in a recess meeting next week if y'all.
yeah. Okay. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Attorney's report.
Let's see. Let's tell Lisa this real quick, so I forgot. There, you know that last motion. You're saving it for budget governance authority. No, on the surplus. Okay, the first thing that I have is the Alice Mosley Amendment number 1 to the lease. And if you look at this, you're going to see that, it's kind of incorporating the First Amendment that y'all passed because it was never actually executed, and that's the adding the, what they commonly refer to as the kitchen space to the lease. We had the city go out at 780 square feet, and it's got the $6 per foot was what your, the fair market value has been deemed to be. Question I had from that, because I thought that the museum was ready to move into this, but apparently the city still has stuff in there that may not be able to be gotten out. So they asked if that portion of the lease could be effective January 1. I don't know. I don't know what y'all's wishes are on this, or.
Yeah, I think we still have, the city still have some stuff in there. I think Myrna and them is going to
I had offered
get the lights and stuff out of there and
them
start
to
setting them up.
take that stuff and transfer it into some storage for storage in the back of my shopping center there
Okay.
for Myrna.
They're
and
gonna
them.
start pulling some of it out
But
to
I
start
think-
hanging.
I was to say, I think a lot of it is Christmas decorations, snowflakes and things like that, so
Okay.
they may pull it all out, hang it up, and we can move pallets or whatever, and then they can store it.
So does January 1, is that okay with
I
you?
Yeah,
would think so, because I'll pick it up
January.
after Christmas, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
then when we
basically,
approve this, the lease premises under number 1 will be effective January 1st, 2018.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other
2019.
2019, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other portion, and Sissy pulled all these numbers, and our original lease did not have, it said that the museum would pay for utilities, but it had no language of how that would be calculated. And since they do not have any of their separate meters, we were trying to figure that out. And Sissy may want to jump in here, but once she pulled all the months and averaged it, I think it was 150. Yeah, it was right around 150 for an average. I think I did a 12-month average on that, that meter. And so that's the fair amount to charge them per month. And then doing like that, you don't have to waste Sissy or any other city employee's time every month going in and hand calculating what that is. So we included that just so it would be clear. And then also attached is their documentation showing that they're a federal and state recognized nonprofit. Got the attached, we have the information on there. Sorry, I did this a couple weeks ago, so I'm just scanning it. Oh, and then we took off the Alice and Tim Mosley Foundation. The lease will only be in the name of the Alice Mosley Folk Art and Antique Museum. And actually, the foundation never signed or executed the original lease. Does anybody have any questions on this?
Well, it's-
The museum. The foundation is never actually signed, and according to the museum, the foundation was never supposed to be included. But nobody ever told me that whenever this was originally drafted, so I never took them off. But then when we went back and started looking at this, we realized that the foundation had never actually executed the lease. The only person that had executed the lease, when I say person, I mean entity, was the museum.
Right.
And the museum's the one we have to pay for it, huh?
Exactly.
Yes, that's correct.
That-
And the
that's one we have, the
501c3
501c3 on.
information, state and federal, is on the museum.
Mhm.
And the insurance is the museum.
Yes.
We named this additional insured.
We are.
Wait, you can do that in public forum. Okay.
I think what Ms. Oliver is referring to, is she had wanted the flat rate to be looked at the end of the year to see if they owed anything additional, that it would need to be paid.
What you mean,
Is that what
owe
you're
anything
referring-
additional? Does it have a-
Basically, if a month went and their bills were actually 160, that they would go in and pay that, pay the overage. But as I told Ms. Rhonda, I mean, Sissy, you can talk, because you probably remember these numbers more, but I think it was pretty dead on, maybe even err on the positive
Right, and it-
side.
And of course, it could fluctuate. We could have a very cold month. They could incur additional heating bills. There could be a concert on the ground
And
that
that's what I was
could
gonna,
incur.
that's the other thing you have to keep in mind here, is that there's no separate outdoor meter. So if there's any sort of special event going on those premises, then it's being charged to that building, because there's not an additional meter.
So how would you figure the overage, if there
Well,
was any?
Well, I would use actual billing, but again, if there's been an event on there, then that entity is gonna have to share the cost. If we don't cap it at 150 and they have an extraordinary month and the bill is, 500 their share, because maybe there was a, I don't know, an emergency preparedness event out in the yard. That would pass the cost on to the museum, and they may or may not have been the user of the electricity. So that's my only
Right.
concern with that problem, you know,
And
that
so that's what,
situation.
when we sat down and looked at all the numbers and the expenses, we both felt that at 150 was reasonable, and the museum agreed to pay
Right.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we
'Cause the
still feel that's
expenses there
reasonable?
weren't as much as
Right,
what-
that is an average
Okay.
over 12 months, you know, future, I can't predict the future, but it seems like a, you know, a very, a reasonable number based on square footage. That's how we analyze it with square footage.
So can we just set up to reanalyze it in 12 months, and even if we can't figure out the overages from that year, we can at least adjust the rate?
Going
And
forward, we certainly could, and that's,
Go
of course,
forward.
up to council. I don't know when this one
I was
expires,
about
but
to
I would
say,
think we should do
this
this.
actually expires, the lease wasn't it a year lease? Wasn't it only a year? So, I mean, really, this is gonna expire in either February or March. I can't remember when the actual expiration
Okay, and
date
we-
was.
So I would think maybe upon the renewal date, that's when we would maybe go back and
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
double
we
check
can
all
look
these
at it then.
Double check it
variables.
on the renewal.
Okay.
One way to alleviate that overage would be is when somebody does have an event, charge them a flat rate to plug up to the things, because if they sometimes you can overuse the power and, damage the wires. I've seen, too much amperage going through is what I'm getting at, and heats the wire. I mean, just charge them like $25, $50 or something.
Hooked up to the outside.
Yeah.
meter box.
And sometimes there's a lot of things they hook up to those outlets.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So we need to take any action on these two things,
We
Ms.
need to
Heather?
approve the amendments, I guess.
Yes, you approve it with the additional lease space being effective January 1.
All right. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the lease as recommended by the city attorney.
All right.
And
Is
what I'll
motion-
do is I'll get that edited and go ahead and get it executed, and then you can spread it on your minutes at the next meeting.
Next,
Okay.
or the recess meeting.
At the
If I
recess.
can get it executed that fast, sure.
Whatever.
Okay. All right, so there's a motion by Councilman Knobloch. Need a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Hoffman. Any more discussion? All in favor, vote the motion. Motion passes 7-0.
Oh, it's still me, huh? The next thing that I have is the agreement with the bonding company for, an artist bond. It's a release and assignment. Y'all have a copy of that, don't you?
Yes.
So that's all it is they're requiring us to have this before they will issue us the check, and it's just saying that we release them. And just for your knowledge, that was the cap, 50,000, and so it's not a per incident, it's a $50,000 bond for that full position. So this will be all the money that we recover from the bonding company relating to the Narno.
And what about the other officer who was paid illegally?
Yeah, his bond.
We're pursuing that as well, okay.
Okay, good.
Oh, the one that we reimbursed?
No, no.
Are you talking about a family member? Actually, I don't think she has a bond.
Should have, policeman. Did.
She would have had a bond in her capacity as a police officer,
Yeah. But that wouldn't,
but if he got the money,
yeah, it
which
was,
the FBI seems to feel
I mean, that's
he
what
got the
nobody-
money, I don't
yeah.
know how you would go about getting it from the person's name who was on the check. I'm not sure.
yeah, nobody can link it to, I mean, I've talked to everybody and their mama about this, and
Kelly, I was talking about the one we reimbursed, last meeting, that's when you have the.
Right, that's what I
paperwork
was,
is being filled out on that one.
oh, we are?
Yes, yeah, we have,
Yeah, he's working on it.
Gary, Sissy, and I have all worked together on that, and I think they have everything they need, so it'll probably be submitted within the next couple of days to see what they say on that one.
Thank you.
Good work on this one with the Narno.
Yes,
Yes,
thank-
sir.
good work.
Thank you.
Can't take the credit though, Sissy did most of the
Thank you, Sissy.
Investigative
Sissy.
report. So
Thank
I
you,
have a
Sissy.
new job at the police department.
Forensic accountant.
Yeah,
you
I
would-
think I
you want-
paid my salary for this year.
Is that everything, Ms. Heather?
Give her a
That's
gun in the
everything
bag.
from me, unless one of you have
I'll
something.
make a motion to approve the, release and assignment. It needs to be executed by the mayor or the city council or
By the mayor.
by the mayor, and
Second.
authorize the mayor to execute.
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Hoffman, second by Councilman Seal. Any discussion on that item?
All gonna check retirement accounts, anything else, if there's any open estates or anything, or?
Yes,
on this
and that's
case.
something that we will have to cooperate with the bonding company if
Okay.
they're gonna look and try to, see if there's any
Recoup
other
that funds.
PERS account, is essentially what it amounts to.
Okay.
So,
All right, that's all discussion. Let's vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0.
I have one thing that I forgot, I don't know, I sent it out a couple times, October 29th, there's a class in Hattiesburg, Mississippi State, and MML's putting on together, it's for open meeting public records. If anybody wants to attend, deadline for registration is October 22nd, so.
I want to go for that.
Yes, I'm gonna go, I don't know if anybody else is interested in going out. Class is from 5 in the evening to 8 at night.
How many credits?
3, 4, let's see.
What time is that? 29?
Okay. So are you gonna, who's gonna be responsible for
Just need to
registration?
send it to Mary and she can register us all, or Lisa, if she, Lee?
Okay, I do want to go, Lisa.
I think I'd like to go to that as well, if, I'll let you know for sure.
It's from 5 to 8?
In
5 and
Hattiesburg.
even 8, yes. 29th
I'll let you
Monday.
know, Mrs.
That's a
Mike's-
Monday, isn't it?
Yes, on Monday.
Like I said, you running the shuttle service?
Y'all
right.
wanna ride with me at
Me too.
nighttime?
Your husband
Y'all
drives.
wanna
You need to
with me
ride
at
with somebody
daytime.
else.
You definitely don't wanna ride at nighttime.
I'll drive.
All right. Better idea.
Okay. Is that it, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, that
All
was
right,
it.
public forum, Ms. Rhonda Oliver.
Take a picture of it.
Rhonda Oliver, Ward 5. You can come by tomorrow too, buddy. Bring him with you. Overtime hours, last 2 weeks. Did y'all figure out? It's about 900 hours.
Huh?
900 hours?
About $8,000, $7,500, $8,000.
Well, if you do 900 hours times one and a half times, it's basically 1,350 hours, which would be divided by 40, actually 80, it'd be 15 full-time people.
Some of that, who'd you count?
Do what? I just counted up all the overtime that was in the books.
A lot of that overtime built in. Police, fire.
No, I don't think I pulled any of
Cause I
that.
got a total of about $8,000, $7,500, $8,000 that was spent
Okay.
in that time.
I'll go back and look again. So y'all are not going to charge Alice Mosley Museum any overages, right? For lights or anything like that? Water?
Well, I'd just like to say though that they're also not gonna charge anything under. So if he has 1 month, his proration might only be $120, but he's still gonna be paying $150.
Okay.
We're gonna
Well,
review it.
huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna review it in February to see what
The
their.
problem is, there's no way to measure it. If you have an event
Well, that's
and
the
somebody
events.
Well,
runs,
you can even look at it.
He's getting a free building.
paying rent now.
He's getting a free building. I don't get free building. As far as people parking on the sidewalks or going across the sidewalks, Mr. Hoffman ought to know this about people walking on those sidewalks and when they're crumbling, because they are crumbling.
They are.
And if they get hurt and they fall and get hurt, the city's liable. So
Yes,
you have a fiduciary responsibility to protect the citizens of the Bay St. Louis, taxpayers. So it's required that y'all go take care of that. If people are running across the sidewalks and they're crumbling, they need to be fixed, or they need to be stopped doing that. There was no, Sissy, you didn't find the balance at the end of the year? Or you just-
I found my report for September 30th, but like I said, it's not quite ready because we are still trying to mount bank statements for September, so I would hesitate to give you a number
Okay,
if something hadn't been posted.
okay,
But we'll be doing the budget amendments next week, so they should be pretty final by then.
okay.
So, yeah.
The grass cutting, are they cutting grass already, the contractor?
No,
No?
No, they
not
just,
the contract,
Huh?
not the contractor.
Y'all haven't paid them to cut any grass?
Not yet, we did get them to come in and do the ditches on 603 in that area.
Okay,
So we
Would
do
that-
have a invoice coming for that area out there. Based on
they cut
what
the
their
grass from the
proposal
street
was.
all the way to the wood line.
and y'all were talking about somebody tearing down a house? Were you, Larry, talking about somebody?
It's just the roof that's left, Ms. Walker.
I know, but did they get a permit, demolition permit?
That's a good question, I really don't know.
He's gonna check and make sure that the city's not doing it, so.
Oh, yeah, this is not, it was a private.
You still have to have,
but
still have to have a demolition permit.
You're absolutely right. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Y'all are not watching my money.
It ain't no more.
You brought it up. Stay in your ward and you want to bring it up.
You started it.
Ward people?
Yeah, if you're looking at the roof, you should have looked for demolition permit.
Ward people?
All right, thank you, Ms. Oliver. Huh? I wasn't looking at all of that. I was just looking at it come down. All right, motion to approve the minutes of September 18th, 2018 meeting, and September 27th, the recess meeting.
Motion?
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Smith,
Second.
second by Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? No discussion, vote the motion. Motion passes 7-0. All right, we need to go into executive session tonight, and here's the way I need to do this. We need to do this. Ms. Heather, Sissy, Mr. Mayor, we're gonna ask you all to leave. We want to talk with our clerk, and then we want to bring you all back in after, we talk with her. I think let me just say this up front, whenever we talk with our clerk on city business, I think we need to do it as a board. We move as one, we move by our minutes, we move as one board, we move as one voice. So if we're going to talk with her, I think we need to do it as a board. And tonight, we want to talk to her as a board, and then because we've had some things just recently, wherein who's supposed to do this, who's supposed to do that, who's supposed to do the other, and I think we just need to make a little headway tonight and solidify some things. Okay, this one is responsible for this. This one is responsible for this. Put it down in writing, and let's make some headway. So.
So motion to
Close?
determine the need to go into closed session.
Okay, so there's a motion by Councilman Hoffman to determine the need to go into closed session,
Second?
second by Councilman Smith. All in favor, vote the motion. Motion carries 7-0.
Motion to go into closed executive
Yeah,
session.
we want you to come back.
Discuss clerk personnel.
All right, motion to go into executive session to discuss clerk
Mike.
personnel.
I think we will bring y'all back in
Yeah,
after.
we want you to come back in.
Thank you.
All right, so there's
Motion.
a motion by Councilman Hoffman,
Second.
second by Councilman DeSalvo. All in favor, vote the motion. Motion carries
So we're now
7-0. So
executive
we're in executive session.